I relapsed. I had been healing for a few years, had not been in any relationships, no intimacy for quite a while. And I fell into the trap of the savior complex that I had not cleared because I was still operating from a spiritual ego. I was spiritually bypassing, and I was lonely. And that loneliness led me to, I had too much compassion for someone who had their own addictions, their own trauma to heal. And I knew enough to know that I couldn't heal them, but I kept trying to get them to go to counseling and to AA. Over and over again, I sent long texts, storybooks. In some ways, I had boundaries, but in other ways, I did not. It was never my place. But I still had father wounds, and this person brought all of that to the surface. So I'm very grateful that it happened because it allowed me to peel another very painful layer of my healing up to the surface. It took me months and months of crying and releasing. And I tried to maintain a casual relationship with that person, and I just couldn't. I care, but that person has their own journey. And it doesn't serve either one of us to try to maintain a friendship that has no foundation. It would be a different story if he was walking a similar path, and his own path, by the way. But that isn't the case right now. If something changes, then I can reevaluate. And that's the case for all the people that were in my life before. I won't say never or always. I can't, because that doesn't leave room for growth. And everyone has opportunities for growth. Whether they take it or not, that's not up to me. But I'm not anyone's savior. I'm not my children's savior. Certainly not a savior to any intimate partner. Not to anyone. Because you can't get inside of someone's heart and mind and rearrange what's in there. You can love them, but love alone is not enough. You have to share values, lifestyle choices. You can't paint over their pain with your love and light. But I certainly tried. And I discovered that me wanting to push him along was just an indication of more work I needed to do within my own self. So everything that I share, everything that I speak of, comes from direct experience. And I know that's the only thing that teaches. Listening to other people's story is great because you know you're not alone. But it's not the same as going within and doing your own work. And you can't do that with someone else. You can do it alongside, walk the path with someone else with boundaries, but you cannot intertwine. You can't enmesh with someone else. You rob them their growth when you try to take on what doesn't belong to you. And they can't take on what's yours. And resentment occurs. There's just no other, that's just what happens. You resent that person and they resent you. And then there's just nothing but dysfunction. And it's not a real loving relationship. It's based on trauma. And they call that a trauma bond for a reason. Because that other person has wounds and I had wounds. And we were trying to heal each other. And you can't. I know that person cared about me, but he didn't care about himself. And I can't overlook that. It starts with each person. And if a person isn't doing their own inner work and they're aware, but they're not doing what's required. And what's required for each person is different. There's certain things that are universal, but timing and different supports and whatnot is each individual's preference. But that's what happened is, I was on a spiritual high road. Thought I was all blissed out, doing great. And I was in a lot of ways. I was making good changes and I was. But I was not going down into that father wound. The mother wound, I had already looked at, examined. I wouldn't say that it was completely eradicated by any means, but my father wound was harder because I enabled him and I used his mental state as an excuse. And it hurt me. My dad loved me the best he could, and he hurt me. It is both. It's never one way or the other. And I grew up Christian. Honor thy father and thy mother. Yeah, but if they hurt you, they hurt you. And honoring them by pretending that it didn't happen doesn't honor anyone. It just keeps dysfunction in place. It keeps trauma alive.